Well, hello and welcome, everyone. I almost forgot to pull up Twitch chat to what is going to be a fun trivia segment. We've got Aror, who is going to be playing as Inbound today. Inbound was going to be in here, but Aror's tagging in. You can see Titans jersey. This is not Inbound. And we do have AwesomeJake, who was prepared for this segment, I guess, as best as you can be prepared. For everyone who's watching, you will be able to play along in chat. We'll have the questions come up. You can vote for your answer. And we're going to be keeping score this time. And just remember that Inbound down at the bottom is Aror, who is masquerading this time.
Are we playing against each other, me and Jake? Or are we playing as a team like last time when I was in with Paul? How does it work?
Let's say if you win and you want to gloat about it and you have more points than Jake, then it can be like against each other. But if chat is like overwhelmingly above you guys, then we can like pool it together so you win. So that way, like no matter what, we'll just rig it versus chat. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All right.
I wonder how that's going to go over now that I've said that live and chat heard me. Either way, it'll be fun. We're just kind of keeping track. I figured it'd be a fun way to track your knowledge. So trivia, again, with Aror, Inbound and Jake. And this is going to be to test your knowledge on the supports in the league, and Season 8 specific. So for all these numbers, if you've been watching this season, it's all you have to worry about. You don't have to worry. The career questions got a little ridiculous when it was trying to think like if Aror versus PBM's on here, we're looking at like Season 4 and trying to figure out who won versus the other. It's a lot easier to just say, let's say Season 8. So we'll go with question number 1. Chat, remember you can play along at home. Who has the most assists? You're both supports, you get a lot of assists. And this is in the league, not just you two.
Do we say at the same time, or?
You can talk it out together if you want to. I mean,
Well,
I know
PBM or Rongo.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna. It's obvious. It's one of them.
I think I gotta say Rongo because they group it up, and you can say PBM if we're like on a team, you know.
I'll go with PBM just to make it fun.
I'll go with Rongo.
I see someone in chat threw out Jake. They just wanted you to be out there. Hey, you know what? I'm spacing on this. I've done this, 4 or 5 weeks now? Multiple choice, PBM, Wrong You, Genetics, AwesomeJake were the 4 options that are there. One says Jake, or one says PBM, one says Wrong You. Chat says Jake. A lot of people saying PBM. And PBM is the correct answer. He's got 584 assists so far this year, and he makes up for 27% of his team's assists.
Well,
there you go. Good numbers for PBM. Who
guess
has the
you're
highest?
on the board.
Oh yeah, the scoreboard. Well, chat. The question wasn't going, but I see a lot of PBMs. So let's go ahead and give the point over. Twitch chat gets a point as well because the poll wasn't running, and so we'll call it a tie as of right now. Question number 2 is who has the highest KDA? Is it PBM, Wrong You, Aror, or Neil Ma?
The last two, that's kind of funny that you put me and Neil there. I don't think it's not me or Neil. It's either PBM or Wrong You.
Come on, it's got to be Wrong You this time.
Yeah, I'll go with
Wrong You.
I'll go with PBM to make it fun again.
To make it fun again, to make sure that there's some rivalry.
Sure.
Well, I see a lot of Ronnies, getting thrown out in chat as well. And Wrong You is the right answer. Yes. He's got a 3.27 KDA. It is kind of high for a support, if you ask me.
It's crazy how the guy just doesn't die.
Just doesn't die.
Just doesn't die. And of course, we're going to have to round this out. You got assists, makes sense. KDA, go towards who has the most kills for question number 3. Is it PBM? Is it you, Aror? Is it you, Jake? Or, I lost my place, is it Inbound?
It's Mike.
Yeah, I think it's Mike too.
Well, chat. I'm looking at it, they're still on the last question, a lot of like Ronnie's, PBM's coming through. Someone just said immovable object, and I'm assuming that's about Wrong You. Waiting for it. No polls have been running, so I don't know who it is who's supposed to be running those, but I'm gonna call you a slacker for this one. Either way, PBM is being thrown out a ton in the chat. PBM is the correct answer. He's got 80 kills so far this year. 20 away from getting.
Do you know who the next
nice
closest
100.
is?
The next closest, I can pull it up for you real slow, but let's pretend it's fast as I do it. It's actually a really interesting thing to look at because I think there was also, and this, never mind, that's spoilers for a later question. There was at one point, I think I had mentioned a couple of players that were like about to hit 200 kills for this year. And Inbound was like, so how many do I need? And it's like 155. Good luck, man. Have fun. Let's see. We'll limit it to the role of support. I believe the next closest might be you, Jake.
Yes.
Off the top of my head. Let's take a peek.
I think it is Jake. That's what I guess.
technically, the closest, right after the 80 that PBM has put up, is Wrong You at 58.
Oh.
Jake, you are at 57. So you are third.
Am I at 46?
Yes. Wow.
Whoa.
Off the top of his head, knows how many kills he's been able to pick up. That's the good knowledge that we want from Aurora. Either way,
My phone always falls out of my pocket too.
I can't remember. I guess I
These
think
are the
both of you
worst
got that
pockets.
right.
I got
Everybody
pockets
got
of
that one
zippers.
right. Question number 4. Who has the highest kill participation for their team? So we got like KDAs, things like that, but who in their team's kills has been a part of the most of them? Is
That
it
is a
Inbound,
hard one.
Genetics, PBM, or Jake?
Inbound.
You got Inbound?
Okay, Layers was the one that had the highest kill rotation on that team. Like, I don't think it's Inbound. I think it's Inbound. Yeah, it's Inbound.
Inbound, chat. I see some Bobbies. Jake. I'm going to give them a second. Normally they have like a minute to be able to get this in. I mean, Inbound, there was 2 or 3 weeks where he had like 100% kill participation. They'd get like 5 kills, but he'd be in there.
Yeah, they don't get many kills, but he is part of the kills that they get, usually.
And I will tell you, he is a part of a lot of them. He has 73% of his team's kill participation, but the highest, it actually goes over to Genetics. He's got 77%. If they are getting a kill, Genetics is most likely there. And Jake, you were close third actually at 72%. So making sure that you're also getting involved throughout a lot of these. Chat, I saw a lot of not Genetics for a while there, so I'm going to give the point to nobody there. I get the point. Question number 5. Who has mitigated the most damage? Figure supports, you mitigate damage, you're always getting shot at.
Whoever has the longest game time. So I'd say, I know who I'm going to say.
Okay.
Neil Ma.
You got Neil Ma?
I'm going to say Genetics.
Okay. My do you want me to give you the multiple choice?
No,
no? Okay, so we got Neil Ma.
Chat.
All right, chat. The multiple choice I had prepared was Raffer, Jake, Wrong You, and PBM. So
I mean, maybe we can change our answers, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, there's still time.
I'm surprised. Is it damage mitigated total or per game?
I'm doing total, but I do have the average. So if you and the average, I will say the average name is not one of those 4. So if you happen to throw out some the person that is the average as well, I'll count that because why not? That's some
for
crazy
average,
knowledge.
I would say Genetics for average, and then for total, what are the multiple choice?
Wrong You, PBM, Jake, and Raffer. Raffer do be dying a lot.
I'm going to say me.
You're going to say you?
Yeah, I'll say Jake as well, honestly. I'll go with that.
Well, Jake, I'll tell you, if you had said Neil Ma, he is the holder of the highest average damage mitigated per game. But total damage per game goes to PBM. He's got 1.7 million damage taken so far this year. That's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
I guess they've played a lot of 3-game sets this year. That would help.
I'd have to double check it. I have the supports pulled up, but I'm pretty sure nobody was under 1 million. For some reason, hardcore comes up in a lot of these polls. But yeah, nobody is under a 1 million damage
was it?
taken.
Oh, so all Season 8 though, you're saying?
Yeah, all of Season 8.
I thought it was just Phase 2.
No, all of Season 8.
What about for Phase 2? I'm curious. Do you have the stats?
I can pull that up real fast. We have it, so might as well look for it, right?
I wonder if I was
Phase 2
correct for
totals and
Phase
take away.
2.
You had said Genetics?
Yeah.
Let's go take a peek, see at Genetics damage mitigated. He is at 776, and yeah, he is the most mitigated in Phase 2.
So I thought it was Phase. I just trolled myself then. But if it's overall, of course it's gonna be Mike because he played the most games counting playoffs.
Oh
right?
yeah, I forgot about.
Yeah, so it's just easy. That one's like because he played a 5-game set against us in playoffs, and then he got all the way to the finals and played all the games.
Had to play another 4 games out there.
So it's just gonna be Mike no matter what. I just didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Well, we've talked about wards a lot. In fact, I think Aurora, I'm pretty sure you're somewhere in the top 3 or top 4 of wards placed over the SPL career history. But for Season 8 specifically, who has placed the most wards just this year? Is it you, Aurora? Is it you, Jake, Neil, or PBM?
Neil.
Yeah, Neil.
Neil, chat. I'm going to keep looking at you.
Neil knows how to ward it. That's the only thing he knows how to do really well. He likes to place those wards down.
Now I want to make sure whenever, because I wanted to see who is number 2, just to be able to throw that out there.
Mike is number 2. Neil's number 1 is my guess.
And then I think it's a lot of ties.
I
Oh,
would.
with a lot of, okay.
I bet I have the least amount of words for this season.
I see some Neil, I see PBM, I see Jake, I see Aror, please, but I don't know if that is them talking about you, Aror, or if they are saying that they wish it was you. But I will say that the answer for this one is PBM.
Oh
He's
my
placed
God.
1,198 words, 2 more, and he hits the big
Well,
1,200.
no, yeah, we're messing up because he has so many more games than Neil in the playoffs. That's why. So
Yeah.
he's just gonna.
He's just winning any of these most.
Any of the most, it's gonna be Mike. I just keep forgetting. If you don't count playoffs, I bet it's Neil.
You know what? Probably, because Neil is
Yeah.
like 100 or so off. Like, he is not far away.
I keep forgetting about the playoff thing. That's the thing. So any of the most are gonna be Mike. I'm trolling myself.
Trolling yourself. It's okay. Chat. I saw a lot of PBMs, but I saw a lot of other names. I don't know. I'll let somebody else dictate whether or not you get the points.
Do I have the least amount of words?
For this year.
For out of the supports, at least.
Out of the supports. Let's see.
I'd be surprised
Here.
if I don't have the least
There
amount of
it is.
words for the supports.
Let's see. You have 653.
I
You are
average-
next to last. Raffer has placed 588.
Do I average 14 words a game or something like that?
Yeah, 14 words a game.
There you go.
You have some. That's way more precise than I thought anything was going to get here. I'm used to these questions being the I'm going to ask you some number you shouldn't know questions. 14 words a game. I'm going to be flabbergasted for that. You've been saying, though, that you think PBM is the controller of most of everything. So who has the most first bloods? Is it PBM, Jake, Neil Ma, or Inbound? This is just first bloods this year.
It's either you or Mike, obviously.
Yeah.
I just don't know who it is. I'm trying to think.
Jake, how do you feel about you fragging out? Like, you getting in there?
I do definitely get in there. I just don't know if Mike gets in there more than I do. I'm trying to think of who I first bloated.
I'm gonna say Mike just because the playoff thing, but
Okay.
Yeah.
if you count regular season, I bet him and Jake are within one or they're tied. Would be my guess.
I give it to Mike as well.
You think Mike as well?
I remember getting first bloated by Mike, I think.
There's been a single PBM, 2 PBMs, every other single one of them has said Jake, the 408,
Oh my
awesome
God.
goat 408. Like they are leaning heavy into the Jake. And chat, you would be right.
Oh my
There you
God!
go.
I actually
Jake.
voted against myself.
Why'd you vote against yourself?
I think it's Mike. You're making a really good argument about the playoffs thing.
Yeah.
So over
Well,
the
Mike
year,
just didn't get in the playoffs, I guess. That's
Yeah.
all it is.
yeah, Jake, you have
Yeah.
6 first bloods
Mike
that
has
you've been
4?
able to pick up. Mike actually has 3. Neil Ma has 4. Neil's actually second overall. A lot of the supports, like Raffer has 3, Rory, you have 2, but Genetics as well as Wrong Hugh also have 3. Like everyone's just hovering right around the 3 mark, except for Jake, who apparently is getting in there and getting it done.
Nice.
I get in there.
Well, you've been able to get the most first bloods. Who's been first blooded the most, though? Killed out of only the supports.
I'm gonna say me. I'm saying me as well.
So
I get first blood every game against the Valkyries. Actually, every game.
I'm saying Jake instantly.
okay, Jake.
Even if he's on the
Jake,
list.
Inbound, Raffer, Neil, and Jake.
I'm gonna say me as
are
well.
The options.
But to be fair, it could most likely be inbound as well, but I'm going to say Jake.
Everyone
baby.
in chat, there's a couple of lulls. Jake, a little bit of Raffer in there as well. Someone said Aror. Auror's not an option here, dude. He's fine. No one's first blood in Aror.
I guess between Jake, inbound, and Raffer, that's really hard, I feel like. But the only reason I say Jake is because I've played against Jake a couple times this season, and I first blooded him, so at least there's 2
Yep.
that I know
And
off
I
the
know
top of my
that
head.
I actually first blooded
Yeah.
so much. I've actually looked at it.
You would be right. Both of you get the point. Chat, I saw a lot of bobbies, so you're not going to get the points for this one. Jake, you have been first blooded 13 times. you have been killed off a whole ton at the beginning of the game.
That's the only way. If you're not willing to get in there, you're not going to get anything. So it's only fair.
Look, you can only get those 6 first bloods by dying 13 times
Exactly.
first blood. Hey, you got to admire the tenacity.
I bet most of them were trades as well,
Yep.
Probably.
Obviously.
except
Certainly.
the ones against the Artemis.
The artist spinner lane. It's actually unbeatable. Can't do anything. Because we get first blooded.
Now, here's one that is a really rare thing to happen for supports. Who has the most multi-kills? And this can count doubles, triples, quadras. There haven't been any pentas this year, so you don't have to worry about that.
This
Although
season?
This season. If a support gets a pentakill, top play ever, right? Like that, like for SPL career history, no matter what.
I'm just going. I know what I'm going.
Oh.
I won't say it, but
Inbound, Jake, PBM, or wrong you?
I'm going me.
You're going you?
I'm going Mike.
You're going Mike. Chat says PBM. Someone said Jake.
I think Jake and Mike are the two candidates for that for sure.
I'm going to give Chat a
we're
just a
getting
little
two
bit
multi kills,
to
I
play
think.
catch up. I mean, because double kills, I mean, it's not easy to get when you're playing support.
I think I have one, maybe two, but yeah. Maybe it was a scrim. I don't even remember. I think I have at least one though.
I never thought about that. It's got to be difficult to discern sometimes from the scrims.
Exactly.
You guys are playing against each other all the time anyway.
Yep.
That's insane. Chat, you're saying wrong you. I see a few people saying PBM as well. And I've got good news. You're all right. Because the answers are Jake, PBM, and wrong you. All of you have 2 multi-kills that you've been able to pick up. Each one has gotten 2 double kills. So everybody gets a point there. No. Inbound is just behind them at 1. And I believe...
Do I not have one? It must have
I think it was very similar to that. Let's see. Yeah, that is it. Those are the only 4 that have multi-kills. So yours must have been a scrim.
Yep, it was definitely a scrim then. It was, yeah. It was against you guys, I think, too, in one scrim.
I don't remember it, but...
Yeah.
Jake, were you involved in that? Were you getting double
Probably.
you giving up these multi-kills?
It was in lane, I think. But, yeah.
All right, so we're moving to question number 10. Who has played the most unique gods this year? Inbound, Jake, PBM, or wrong you?
PBM was doing a thing where like his team, or he just pick a new god every week, and that was like a segment.
Yeah, he got like, I think in the first 9 games they played, he had played 9 different gods. So there's a baseline. You know at least 9 has been played by PBM.
I don't think I've played that many gods.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mike.
Yeah.
You're saying
Mike as well.
Mike. Chad, I'm going to give you a little bit to catch up. PBM, wow, it is an overwhelming. There's a We Love You Hindu Man heart, and then a line of PBMs in the chat. And so, chat, I'm happy to tell you that you're all wrong. No, it's not Mike, actually. It is Inbound. He's played 15 different gods this year.
I guess that makes sense, though.
And I think it was, like, Mike was on that, like, record, and then I think he picked the same god in Game 9 as Game 10, and they lost that game. Yep. He's like, I knew it. But since then, it's kind of become less varied. There's been a lot of Fafnirs, a lot of Terras, a lot of, like, the Emojis, but they aren't going. Nobody's picked Sylvanas yet. Nobody's picking any of these extraneous supports to get the numbers up. Unfortunate that it is. Well, I guess not unfortunate. Jake, you're out there pogging off. You're playing 15 different gods. It feels pretty good. Question number 11. Between the 2 of you, now bear in mind this was written for specifically Inbound originally, but I have Aror's up as well. Between the 2 of you, who has more wins versus the other? We will count the points as Jake over Inbound or Inbound over Jake. But if you can also get Aror versus Aror versus, there's too many names, man. Aror versus Jake or Jake versus Aror, whoever has the top, then I guess we can also give you a bonus point. So chat, answer both.
Let's do Inbound first.
I mean,
yeah,
Jake
Inbound
has
first.
more against Inbound, I would say.
And then...
So you've got Jake for the first one.
And then me versus Jake all time.
I don't think I won against you. No, I did.
You won last year. I remember the game. I remember exactly how you won. That's the first set.
Was it Daphne playing Dodgy?
He was playing Pele, and he. He was playing Pele. I was Emoja. We went to fire. He backed when I was Emoja, and I couldn't heal him. So he just backed. So we didn't have his DPS at fire, and then walked in and stole fire, and then you guys won the set. I still remember that. I remember exactly. I was like, I can heal you, and then he just backs, and then we lose fire, and then we lose the set, and I'm like,
I remember he blinked to do a Jingwei one, and then got Raijin ulted as well.
I remember that as well. I remember that as well. But yeah.
I mean, I don't think we never played against you in playoffs in the last season. Yeah. And I remember beating you once.
It's very close because I feel like you beat me last phase.
Yeah. We played playoffs.
But I got a win against you last phase. We've never played in playoffs, but I think we had a pretty good record against you guys in the later half of last year. So I really think it's really close.
I mean, you can just go yourself, and I'll go myself.
Sure. And I'll say, it's like, is this sets or games? By the way,
I have it games.
Games?
Because this lists it by games.
Okay. So hold on, give me a second here.
Sets is definitely a different answer because only one person can win.
Yeah. Give me a second. Before you give it out, I want to give an exact number of what I think it is.
Okay.
I think we played less last year than we did this year.
You haven't played each other for the second time in phase 2 yet, have you?
Yeah, it was 3 times, 1 split, and then 2 times. So I think it's like really close.
Yeah, it's so close.
I think it's like one person has 1 more win than the other one.
Yeah, it's that or it's 2 more wins than the other one. It's like so super close. I'd say it's like either like 12 and 11 or even like 11 and 10 or something, or 10 and 11. Going one way or the other.
Okay.
That's what my guess is for the numbers.
So for the first part of this, which was Jake versus Inbound, everyone said Jake. Everyone gets a point. Jake, you have 12 wins to Inbound's 2 that they've been able to pick up over the last.
I think one of those wins we had Roe as a sub.
Oh yeah, you know what? Last year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like right after.
Most depressing game I've ever played.
And so those wins end up going, or that ends up going. Everybody gets a point off that. But then for Jake versus Aror, I will be happy to report everybody also gets a bonus point.
Yes!
Because you are tied 12 games to 12 games.
Yeah.
You actually have kept it as even as it could possibly get.
I knew it'd be super close. Super close.
Every time you said it was super close, I was like, I gotta bite my tongue. Like I can't tell them it's very close. Like you don't even know. But yeah, so it's you guys have been able to tie that. I'm assuming not assuming, someone's gonna break that by the end of this phase, because even if you go 3, someone gets 2 wins, somebody gets 1.
We've played each other this.
Or have you already played each other twice?
Yeah. Because you.
Oh yeah, you just did.
We
this
played
last
the
week
first
was the
set,
second one.
The first set you played against us this phase, we were still playing with
I
Ronnie.
played you like 3 times.
Yeah.
Like we played you once, and then we did playoffs and played you again. So like 3 times during the first phase.
Oh yeah.
2 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is including yesterday's set then. So we're gonna have to wait to fight phase 3 or the playoffs, I guess, to figure out who's going to be able to finally pull ahead and conquer the other one, I guess. So not much of a conquering if it's 2 or 3 games apart. We'll move to question 12 though. Which support has gotten the most first pick priority? So which team is picking for their support the most?
This
and I
season,
went through,
right?
Yeah, this season. And I went through and tallied each God pick. I will say it got a little murky because I can't remember how many times Inbound had the Hercules picked for them and how many times it was picked for Sot. So that one was a little murky, but luckily he's not on the list. It's Aror, you, PBM, Genetics, or Jake.
I'm gonna say Mike. That's what I say. Actually,
I think I'm gonna say me.
I'll say myself. This is close.
It was very close.
It's really close. I'm gonna say myself, but I think it's actually really close between me, Jake, and Mike.
I think Mike likes to I remember he's been he's been holding his pick.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I first said Mike because I feel like he was when he picks Fafnir, he usually picks it pretty early. But if he does not picking that, he usually holds his pick to the bottom-ish. Mm-hmm. But I'll say myself, but I think it's very close.
You got Aror, you've got yourself.
Yep.
So Aror, Jake, chat, I'm just now looking at it. I see a lot of PBMs, a lot of Genetics as well. And Jake, you're the one who gets the point here. This was, like you said, incredibly close. I think the lowest was 8 specific picks for the support versus up to where Jake is at 14 out of the 26 first picks you've had this year have been for your gods. Oh. And hey, Bolts, if you want a priority thing, every time they pick your god first, you got a 79% win rate. So
there you
go. You're kind of rocking. You keep picking Jake's gods, and you keep rolling forward and getting some dubs. So now, these are. I was starting to run low on questions because I was like, man, we've done a lot of the support-centric things that I could think of. But there was something that was very bizarre to me that stood out because we track structure damage. So who of the supports has the most structure damage? Is it Genetics, PBM, Raffer, or Neil?
I remember looking at this one time.
I'm going to say Mike just because of the game, the extended games again. That's my reasoning.
Longer games, more chance for support?
Well, just more games
more
in
games,
general,
more chance for damage.
That's my reasoning.
I remember someone has 600 structure damage. I just don't remember who.
Oh, now I want to go find that. I want to see.
I'm gonna say wrong you.
Wrong you?
Yeah.
Now I will say average structure damage there is a 600. I'm total, but I have both in front of me, so I'll be able to tell you. And I closed chat, so I can't see who's saying what. I see a lot of PBMs, and it's actually Genetics who wins this one. He has 31,000 structure damage.
It's because of Terra. He was building
Animosity.
That's exactly why he has the most. I remember he had so much in our set against us. I remember before the benevolence change. I remember I remember he's just punching the Phoenix and punching the towers down with his little monolith.
His double proc animosity.
Yeah, exactly. It's cheating, bro.
Yeah.
If you're curious where 31.2k structure damage gets you in like the grand scheme of team damage, that is 5.5% of his team structure damage. That is how little, I guess, that feels for like the entire year. Those carries.
Who is second?
In their pats. For
Total.
support, second
I wanna
goes
say Neil.
to. Do you have? Who did you say?
Mike.
Mike. Yeah, it's Mike.
Yeah, Mike's gonna be like top 1 or 2 for all these,
For all of them.
regardless, because he just has
He
so
has
many
more
more
games.
games. Yeah.
So now we'll move. Well, you know what? You've got good reasoning here. Who has taken the most damage? And I have both regular and average. So PBM, Jake, inbound, wrong you for taking damage.
Definitely not wrong you.
I'm gonna say Mike for the
Mike.
most damage overall, but for average, I'll say Jake.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say myself.
You're going to say yourself for both?
I mean, Mike's probably like average, but
No, you'd be total, not average. Other way around. But you can just say whatever you want. Don't let me sway your answer.
okay. I mean, you're kind of swaying my answer right now. So I'm gonna
Should
say
have not
Mike.
said anything.
I'm gonna say
So
Mike.
Mike, chat, I see a lot of PBMs. It's PBM. He has taken 1.4 million damage. So what is that? Mitigated 1.7 that we learned earlier.
Who has
taken 1.4?
Who is the average?
Neil Ma, again, has the average most
That
damage
makes sense.
taken.
Makes
Who's
sense.
just getting hit. I can give you the number. If I can find it real fast off the top of my head. 27,000 damage on average in the middle.
Yeah, they have the longest game time, right? The Warriors.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a peek, see. Well, no, I have win rate. Game time will take me a little bit longer to get to. In fact, I can find that while I ask you the last question.
All right.
Question number 15. Chat, you can answer this along as well. Actually, I'm hoping we awarded points. I didn't look at the scores before that. Everyone got it right, so it all just went up by 1 anyway. Who has died the most this year? Wrong you, Awesome Jake,
Not wrong, you.
Inbound, or Neil Ma?
I'm not.
I'm
on
surprised
there.
the
You're
IRF
not
is
on
not
there.
How am I not on there? That's crazy.
I will say-
I lead the SPL in deaths all time. I should at least be on the list. I should at least be on the list, even if it isn't me.
Wait, so it's what is it?
I should have. Because I always I find the answer and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna put 3 more support names here. It was Neil, Inbound, Jake, or Wrong You.
Okay, it's Nima or it's Inbound. No,
Exactly.
No, it's me.
It's not. It's definitely not you. It's Inbound or Neil for sure. I'm
Nima
gonna.
has the longest game time.
If
so
they count the games yesterday, I'm gonna say Inbound. I think it's close between Neil and
I'm
Inbound.
gonna say Neil.
Okay, yeah, that's fun.
So
I
Neil,
think it's close.
you said
Inbound.
Inbound. I closed chat because I was looking at the average game time. Yes, the Warriors have the longest average game time.
Who's
by the way.
who? Wait, let me guess. Is it Warriors, then Kings, then Leviathans, then my team, then Dragons, then Valks, then Valks, then Scarabs, then
Bolts.
Bolts, yep.
Bolts at the bottom?
You think we're the
No,
shortest
Bolts,
game time?
no, the shortest game time.
Oh,
yeah.
shortest game time.
Yeah.
Okay, so the longest is Warriors.
Yeah.
After that, you had said Kings, but it's actually your team.
Okay, yeah.
Then Leviathans, you were right there. Then it was Kings, so you just had those two swaps.
Two swapped.
Then Dragons, then Bolts, then Scarabs, then Valks.
Okay, so
You had most of them
it
right.
was very close.
And
okay.
a lot of these teams, like the average is like 33 for Warriors, 32 for Titans, then 30-30 for Leviathans Kings, 29-29-29.
I keep forgetting. I'm thinking phase 2 only. That's why. I gotta keep thinking the whole season. I'm messing up.
You know what? After this,
right.
I'll pull up phase 2 and we can discuss it. But here, for who's died the most, I saw a lot of people in chat saying Neil. You had said Neil. You had said Bobby.
I'll just go Inbound for fun. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's close though between the two of them.
Well, Jake and chat, you guys get the point. It is Neil with 201, but like you said, it is very close. Inbound is at 192, so he's less than 10 away from taking over the mantle. Depending on how the next week goes, he might take over the mantle. Jake, I think you were the third highest on the list, or maybe not. I'd have to go double check, but you were at 152.
I have to be third highest, I think.
Let's go. I've got deaths in front of me, so I can pull that up. It has to be Aurora.
kinda
Oh yeah, you're
stoked up
third.
last
You're at
week.
168.
Yeah.
But it was
there's
still a pretty drastic drop off. I mean, you're almost 30 behind where
Yeah.
Inbound and Neil are.
The fact that I'm not up there is saddening.
It's saddening. You gotta
keep
next
that.
few Titans games, baby. Aurora's inting.
I'm going in,
I
baby.
think we had looked at it mathematically. I'm pretty sure you guys are like locked for playoffs. I think like even if you lost every single game.
Once we beat Scarabs, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's going to make things a little more interesting. I will throw this out there. The bonus fact I had for this one, Wrong U is on this list. He's the only support that has not hit 100 deaths yet. So he is still under 100 for the year, which is remarkable to me as far as anything goes. The fact that he's not hit 100 deaths as a sport is amazing.
Yep.
But thank you so much, chat, for playing. Of course, thank you, Jake. You tie with chat, and so we can rig it against chat. Collectively, you two beat chat. Probably. I guess that's how that works. Either way, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with the trivia. And with that, we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be back with more content.
Gotta take off my jacket for this one. Oh, dude, this. No, I know he was supposed to take you out last weekend, but he got busy.